Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Cali Rexx show, the pot, man. Welcome back. Yes. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Yo, we are here with another episode on the pot. Right now, we're going to get into this here issue. Today's subject, we're going to say disrespect. We're going to call this disrespect on misconception, right? Because a lot of times what ends up happening is you have people who tend to get beside themselves with their comments or their reactions or whatever, and you may be saying something simplistic, right? And today we're going to deal with this Corey Holcomb issue, him and Anton. And what ended up happening is these dudes end up clashing. Now the technically the clash came from a political conversation where there was a disagreement between the both of these gentlemen about the two sides and who's kissing who's you know ASS and who's brown nose and what, and so forth more. And honestly, I'm gonna say this, man. When it comes down to disrespect, there's a lot of disrespect that shouldn't really happen. Unfortunately, it's happening because people feel different ways. And I'm gonna say this. As we go through the video, we'll point out some things and I'll elaborate on some things. And on each side there's a difference between, I mean, you have to understand people personal feelings about disrespect. All right, people personal feelings about disrespect, and I get it, right? But there's a worldwide understanding of disrespect, and there's a universal understanding of disrespect, and then there's a personal feeling. There's no difference than how people say, hey, my feelings, my opinions, and these things fit into a certain category in life. And I think that's where we have to understand that, yeah, we don't, maybe there's a time and a place to separate these different disagreements. I don't know if that's really sounding right to y'all, but uh, give you a perfect example. If we're talking about um, opinions, right? And it seems like these two gentlemen right here had their own personal opinion about certain get downs or certain things that are what they stand for or whatever the case is. They have two different opinions, two different sides, two different feelings. And this is where worlds tend to clash at, y'all, right? This is where things tend to go wrong at, and things tend to clash at. And unfortunately, um yeah, it just we end up disagreeing. We could agree to disagree, should I say. And I think we need to separate the difference from opinion to facts, right? And unfortunately, some people won't see the facts. They'll always be opinionated over the facts. They will always put their feelings over anything else. They could be in a room full of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, and if 9,000 people say you're wrong, or 9,999 people say you're wrong, that one person, based upon their feelings, will still feel like you can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm right. And so, with that being said, this is where it comes down to the whole issue of, you know, separations of your feelings and actually getting down to the home base reality of things. If anybody out there understands me, please let me know. But if you're confused, put it down in the chat. We'll come back on my next segment. I am planning on going live on to cover some of these stories eventually. Right now, I'm just kind of pre-recording things, but you guys can leave a message in my comments, man, and you can comment, ask a question, and I'll give that feedback. Yeah, just be respectful with it, so forth more. But anyway, man, we're gonna go ahead and get into this here issue because it was a big thing where Corey Holcomb and Anton, man, they got into it on the 5150 show, man. And if you guys don't know, that's a show by Corey Holcomb. Um, it's his show called 5150. It's his platform. It's a live stream. It's on YouTube. You can catch it at Corey Holcomb, the 5150 show, the Corey Holcomb 5150 show. It's at YouTube. Search it, you'll find it. So that's where this content is coming from today, man. It's coming directly from the Corey Holcomb 5150 show. And a lot of people has been kind of digging into this, man. So I want to go ahead and get into this, if you guys don't mind. So that's what we're about to do right now, is get on into this. And let's see what happened here. Let's see what took place. Like I said in the beginning, it started off with these two gentlemen disagreeing on a political base, right? So they was disagreeing on an issue that was political, all right? And from there, disrespect ensued. You know, you kissing the white people ass, and then what ensued from there? I'm gonna say this really probably shouldn't have ensued, but it did. So let's get into it.
In a way, you know what I'm saying? I know that ain't guaranteed. I'm not.
And I have the hopes that I'm gonna get y'all off of the Democratic plantation.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing about the Democratic plantation.
Everything that you speak of, it's a reflection of the same thing that they speak of. So you may not claim it, but you're a reflection of it.
Well, if I reflect something that is this Democratic plantation, I tell you what, I really don't study a Democratic plantation. I try to study being a stand-up human being where when I look in the mirror, I don't see a slick, not me.
No. Take yourself out of it. We talking about the culture. It may not necessarily be you individually, but we as a culture fuck with him.
Fuck with who?
Barack Obama and his wife. We fuck with him. As a culture, we champion him. We absolutely do. And he didn't give y'all shit except for gay marriage.
You know I know that. That's why I ain't arguing with you on this point.
Now hold up. Now I'm gonna say this, man. To Barack Obama, you tried. So I don't like the fact that a lot of people kind of like tend to criticize Barack Obama for what he gave the people or what he was able to give the people and what he didn't do for the people, especially us black people. But let's be honest, man. The only reason why Barack Obama didn't do a lot or wasn't able to do a lot for us is because of the people who he was up under, right? Let's think about it, man. In a room full of people, if you're the most disliked individual, I don't care what type of plan you come up with. I don't care what solution you come up with. If you're the most disliked individual in that room, you're going to be disagreed upon. And unfortunately, we all know why Mr. Barack Obama was disagreed upon. He was disagreed with a lot. He had to start executing his executive power while he was in office for them 8 years in order to get a couple of things, passed. They tried to impeach him behind that. This man tried to sit down and get involved with small political scales, but that's going to be a conversation for another day. We'll get down to that. But let's be honest, man. Barack Obama tried to do a lot for the people. All right? He tried. He sat down. He tried to have a beer call. Don't forget, this man sat down with a police officer and a preacher on the lawns of the White House to have a beer meeting with the police officer who disrespected and, did that to that preacher. So with that being said, let's go back in history. And Barack Obama was criticized for having that meeting on the lawns of the White House. They looked at that man and was like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be involved with bigger issues, not these type of issues. You're supposed to be involved with worldly issues and not the issues of regular people. They have mayors and governors and things like that. But now you have a president who's overstepping all that. Now you have a president who's executing his power, his authority in that office the way he sees fit. And when you look across the board, there's not really too much that's going on to really stop it. You got a little knick-knack here and there, but eventually he gets his way. So, I mean, let's be honest. And look at how many people who was disagreeing with Barack Obama at the time is riding this man coattail. But anyway, like I said, that's a story for another day. If anybody has anything to say about that, add to that, or whatever the case is, go ahead and leave it in the comment. Just make sure your comments are respectful, please. Subscribe, subscribe. I'm not gonna, I can't remind you guys enough, and I won't stop reminding you guys. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. But we're gonna get back into this here content, man, because it's deep, and that's what I mean by the things that we can control and the things that we can't, right? Because Barack Obama was up there and he was a puppet. It showed. Let's look at that man here. That man here went gray. That man aged in 6 months. His first 6 months of being in the White House, he aged. Let's think about that for a second. That man here, his vigor, everything that he had, just it kind of withered. And so many black people talk crap about Barack Obama, but we're gonna get back into this. Like I said, that's a conversation for another day. I'm not feeling no type of personal way. I just, the thing is, so many people, they weigh in and they lay way, and that's what I mean. People trend. This is what I mean by trending. Everybody tends to follow the next person. Like I get into it, not even like there's a verbal debate that I get into it with, get into it with people about when it comes down to this scale of what did Barack Obama do? What did he do for the people? Like I get into these type of, political debates with people, and it's like if you and so many other people have been talking and feeling this specific way, you're going to continue to feel that specific way. But we're going to get back into this content, man. So, sorry, we took it a little bit further than what we needed to, but I had to go ahead and express that one time.
Absolutely, I vote.
Are you independent? What do you?
I'm a Republican.
You didn't know that?
I'm a straight up, up and down Republican. And matter of fact, people need to really understand their history because Republicans were the party of black people. It's the original party of black people. They were the party that actually freed the slaves. Lincoln was a straight up Republican. When you're talking about the emancipation, when you're talking about 1865, when you're talking about what we stood for as conservative means that we're Christians. It means that we don't fuck with that gay shit. I'm telling you what it stands for.
You don't fuck with the backdoor shit?
I don't.
I don't either.
That's what it stands.
Now, this is where it's starting to get interesting at, right? Because now here we go. We're getting down to the breakdown. Now, I do agree with Anton about the whole Republican Democratic thing because I've always wondered, like so many black people, especially in the lower poverty, or should I say in the urban, I don't like to call it the lower poverty communities. I don't like to call it the ghetto. I don't like to call it the underprivileged. Like, no, it's urban. It's urban. It's the urban community. All right, you got the suburbs where them people at, then you got the urbans. You got the urbans. So we're in an urban community. All right, so with that being said, I've always questioned why is it that the Democrats put so many restraints on the people? Like they put so many rules and they make things more complicated for the people. I've always wondered that, right? Now, when you look at the Republican side of things, there's a lot more that the Republicans go for when it comes down to, constitutions and, rights and things like that. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole political thing today, but let's be honest. This argument here, as you see, started from a political standpoint. And this is why a lot of people, streamers, content creators and things like that, people like that, they tend to stray away from dealing with political issues. And this is one of the reasons why people tend to stray away from dealing with political issues is because of this. You can clash easily. People are very sensitive about their breakdown, their beliefs, their systems, their backgrounds, whatever the case could people are very serious. I know people, man, that are serious about their football team, their basketball team. You can't even talk any type of smack. You can't talk no type of trash about people, their teams, because man, things get serious. Like, I have friends, man, or people I know where I, commented and sent them a message talking trash about their team, and next thing you know, man, we wasn't friends no more on social media. So, when it comes down to these type of things, man, you got to be mindful about some of the people that you may be dealing with, and then disrespect starts ensuing, and that's what you're going to see here.
What it means to be a Republican is this, because a lot of people like to say,
because this is backdoor Republicans.
And we were taught by our parents. We were taught by our parents. We were taught by our parents that we vote Democrat no matter what, right? Regardless of what they stand for, regardless of the agendas that they push, regardless of how much nonsense that we see in our communities, regardless of how many Democrats actually destroyed our cities from Chicago to Detroit, all across the board. Mm-hmm. We were taught to vote that no matter what. You vote Democrat no matter what.
I agree.
But this is the difference between the parties on a very fundamental level, not complicated at all.
Really? You finna say it's a difference between the parties?
This is the difference.
I can't wait to hear this.
No. You may say that it's the same type of public politicians that take advantage of the taxpayers and take advantage of the people. The difference in the parties historically is Republicans want less government so you can do what the fuck you want to do. And Democrats want more control, so they want to control what your money is, where your tax dollars go, and what you can do with your money.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this.
That's the fundamental difference.
Now, I'm going to say this. I do. I agree. Once again, man, sometimes life is just so easy if you just pay attention to the things that's going on and taking place in life, man. You kind of see where things are taking a turn for maybe the worse in life, especially when it comes to dealing with, the economy, society, especially our government. So understand what these political beliefs is. Now, I'm not saying that, Republicans are more righter than anybody else. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is no matter what side of the aisle you're on, there's still going to be some type of political game, promises of dreams that never come true. All right?
I'll tell you this, and you don't have to believe me, but I'm just telling you.
I'm listening.
The people in charge are not Democrats or Republicans.
I understand
Kamala Harris is allowed to do whatever she's done.
We get that.
This new president, he's allowed to do whatever he is willing to do, or they allow him to do. Facts. Everything is allowed. There are people in charge of this nation that flat out run shit. And if ain't nobody got the power to uproot them, then we're going to keep having people paying a whole bunch of money for houses and a fire hydrant don't work in front of it, but they'll charge you for the fire hydrant in front of your house.
But we got a less than 20% voter turnout rate in the local elections.
Well, you understand voting don't work, right?
It does work.
How?
It does, but you just missed it.
All right, so first of all, I'm going to say this. When it comes down to the whole voting thing, first of all, I'm going to let this finish, then I'm going to elaborate on this. All right?
I heard everything you said. I can't wait till you tell me how voting makes a difference in this country.
We have a less than 20% voter turnout rate in local.
Ain't nobody going for the sucker shit no more. We got to go.
You're missing it.
You got to uproot the people in power before a real difference happens. Voting is for suckers.
It's not. People that don't vote are ignorant as fuck.
Well, I guess I'm ignorant because I would never participate in no sucker shit. People that don't vote, I'm gonna show up and vote like a sucker.
And not only is it ignorant.
We had Republican presidents, we had Democratic presidents. We in the same joint.
I'm talking about locally. You talking about national.
I don't give a fuck if it's local.
It matters.
If you vote, that means you.
All right, so let me go ahead and elaborate on this voting. All right, voting. Voting matters, and I'm going to agree with Anton on this. Voting does matter at the local levels, right? It does. It does matter. Your government, mayors, your measures, right? Every 2 years, when you get out here and vote on new measures and new plans and new, all these different things and districts and whatever the case could be, them local elections they count. The problem is we've been depleted because of the bigger picture here, which is our presidential election. And that's where your vote doesn't count. And that's where Corey is coming from. So let's break that down. So you have two different views here. And I think Anton is trying to get Corey to understand that. And of course, Corey is like, no, it doesn't matter. And let's break this down. It does matter on a local level. It does. Like I said, you make them changes there. But on the bigger scale, when it comes down to the presidential election, right? This is where we as a country, as a society, need to change the game. And this is where people like Corey are feeling like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work. And you have to understand why people like Corey feel like that. So let's go ahead and break down this quick. Let's talk about this presidential election. All right. Let's go back to Al Gore, George Bush. All right. It was right there in the people's faces. You had Al Gore, who was winning with the popular vote. The popular vote, guys, in the presidential election is the people, right? It's supposed to be for the people, by the people. And in this presidential election, what happened was Al Gore won the popular vote, which is the people. He had the people vote. That was us. Me, you, your mom, your dad, your uncles, your grandfathers, your grandparents, your grocery store clerk, your post office, your mailman, your teacher. These are the people who went down there and voted for Al Gore, the people. George Bush won because of the electoral outcome, the electoral votes. Now, this is the problem that I see with electorals. Now, maybe, once again, somebody leave it in the comments because I'm not the wisest, most knowledgeable guy out here. Sometimes I'm talking out the side of my ass, and y'all understand that. But if I'm not mistaken, these electoral votes go out to select folks. And we don't know who them select people is. They could be delegates, right? Delegates, right? So these electorals might go out to delegates, or they might go out, and these delegates are already in somebody's pockets. This is how I feel. And so when it comes down to these electoral votes, we don't know who them electoral votes are going to. We don't know how that process, at least I don't know how that process is made. I don't know what the selection of that is. But let's understand where these electorals stood place at. And we're talking about the political view here. You're talking about Abraham Lincoln, right? When he freed the slaves, right? You're talking about him being a Republican. You're talking about, we're talking about the electoral votes. So back then, when they freed the slaves, the electoral votes, or excuse me, electoral voting, the colleges, right, as they want to call them or whatever, they remained in place back then when the slaves was free and was allowed to start voting, because they wanted to make sure, or at least the slave owners, all right, their property, their businesses, their land, that they did all that wrong on back then. They wanted to make sure that they was protected. And on a political scale, because you had people who was thinking from that standpoint, what if it was you? And so what they did is they said, you know what? Yeah, we're going to keep this in place because what if that was me? A lot of things happen from them standpoints, and you have people in the higher standpoints, in the higher power, or who are able to change these things, changing things to fit them also. So we did this for you, but we're going to do this for us. And this is where the trickeration comes into play at. And so this rule has been in place ever since then. The freedom of slaves, and you know, and honestly, it's wrong. I'm gonna say it like that. It's wrong. So we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be. You know, Corey is not. Corey is not wrong about his feelings. Anton is not wrong about his side and his view either. But at the same time, we need to understand why. And so until we get rid of these electoral votes, the colleges, whatever you want to call it, until we stop that, then yeah, our vote at the top really doesn't matter. And that's the sad part. That's the downside. But our votes at the local level, it matters. This is where you have to make the change, us as a people. And unfortunately, another fight that you have is based upon what state are you in. Some people are in California, strict laws. Some people are in New York, strict laws. Right? Some people are in, Florida or, Texas or Georgia. Different places, different laws, different, inner city ordinances, and so many different things that the people have to get on one accord with. And we'll talk about that another day. In the meantime, we're gonna get back to this content, y'all. Let's get back to this content. And
In line.
No, if you vote first, the first thing that it means is that you respect your ancestors that died for your right to be able to do it.
Your
That's what it first-
ancestors, your ancestors
it's so funny to me.
didn't do it like this. Because
yo-
people went to war when the government tried to overthrow the people and the power of the people. It was wars. There hasn't been a war inside the U.S. where the people who getting fucked over are doing something about motherfuckers with 30 felonies being the president.
It's
war. All sucker shit
It's
going
a war
on.
every day. It's just not physical anymore.
Well, that's the problem.
It's
We
here.
need physical wars.
It's not.
Until motherfuckers ready to jump it off,
It's not.
we gonna always be
not.
talking.
It's
But
not.
see, real gladiators don't talk. Real
No, it's
gladiators make it happen. And the gladiators, I ain't gonna lie, we are under control right now. We haven't rose up and did what needs to be done.
Who
But
are you under control by?
it ain't you under control by the people who will motherfucking blow this motherfucker up. We ain't stupid.
Who is he? Because I want to know who.
Why do you think that ICE agent was able to shoot that
I want to
woman?
know who these. Hold on. Let's be real. Fuck that woman.
Well, that's what you would say to somebody you don't know.
all right. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let this play out for a little bit before I even speak on it.
Or whatever.
No.
But see, I'm on the streets. I've been pulled over by the police.
Who ain't on the streets?
Or
I'm in
the ICE
Detroit.
agents or whatever.
You in LA. I'm in Detroit. I'm in the blackest city in the United States of America. I can move anywhere I want to go. I choose to stay in the core of my city, and I choose to participate in my neighborhood.
All right. So what I was speaking about a little bit ago was before I took this last little interception of this here content. What I was speaking on is the fact that we have everything is a political game. Everything is a political game. Your government, I don't think, is really for the people. And we're not going to really say, we're not going to go too far into that. And I understand why so many people don't go too far into that. But one day we will dive deep into that. But our government, it seems, is not for the people. Everything is a political gang. And at the end of the day, the government is going to stick together, period. That's what they do, right? It doesn't matter. You have the federal level that's against the state level right now, and they're trampling over the state level. The state level's fighting get back against the federal level, but yet it's the people that's involved and entangled in all this, right? You have immigration going on. You have this gentleman in California who was just, out here in California who was just killed on New Year's Eve for firing a gun into, the air by an immigration officer. You have that lady in Minnesota who was just shot and killed by another immigration officer. You have multiple shootings going on with these border patrol and immigration officers, right? And I'm gonna just be honest with you guys. At the end of the day, prosecution of individuals is still going to happen if you are not deceased. Um, it's still going to happen. You're still going to end up in jail or deceased. You're still going to be an enemy of the state, of the government, no matter what level or who you choose to go against for whatever reason. All right. So let's get that straight too. But I don't feel like F that lady life who lost her life in Minnesota. I don't feel like F the dude who lost his life in California. I don't feel like that. The reason why I don't feel like that is because they were still human. Now, I do move in certain ways and, certain, levels in my life, aspects of my life. I do move in a certain way. What I mean by that is, like, I'm not posting celebrities' deaths on my page and things like that, or people I don't know on my page, because I'm gonna be honest. The day that I die, and it can be tragic, but unless it makes the news and social media, nobody gives a damn. Nobody. And even the people who are posting, most people are posting for clout. They want more people to like their page. I hate to say it, but everything is always a game. And on the political side, they're trying to get the people to go against one, government level for the, this government level to succeed and do this. But at the end of the day, the people, the people, are going to be the ones paying the ultimate price. As now, we're looking around, and this is why voting on a local level matters in order for us to change things on a bigger level. But all on one accord, in each state, we all, the people, have to be on one accord, or at least a majority, because it's let's be honest, it's impossible to get the whole country, everybody in this country who's not the government, it's going to be impossible to get everybody to vote in this one way. But we need to get a majority of the people to vote in these, in this way, so we can start changing the things that we need to change to make it matter for us, the people. All right. So I don't feel like F that lady life. I don't. And I'm gonna say this, man. At this point, it's kind of seeming like Anton may and I get it. That's who he is. He's built a reputation off of being who he is. I get it. But there's certain things that, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I may feel a certain type of way towards, towards certain situations. And I am. I do. I do feel a certain type of way towards certain situations. But let's be honest, man. When you look at that video, that lady wasn't a threat. We're not gonna. I can't call that domestic terrorism. I can't. I just call that somebody being trigger happy, and that's something that we have to look at too. Is the scales of the evaluation of the people that we are hiring to protect the people, because you have a duty to protect the people, and that's your job. Your job is to protect the people. Your job with that gun in your holster, and you have the right to carry that gun and protect yourself, and it's called preserve life. Some people get behind the badge and the gun, and unfortunately, the only thing that they're concerned about right now is they can't wait for the day to be able to pull that trigger. And it's things that people who have felt that they don't know. They're not running around with guns and stuff that's, I can't wait to pull the trigger. But you have a lot of people in the wrong position. I don't care whether it's police, security, whatever the case is. Some people get behind a gun, or whether you're just a regular individual in the street. Some people get behind a gun and can't wait to do something stupid. And a lot of them people that do that and choose to do that is because they don't know what trouble is about. So they get out here doing things, testing the waters, thinking that, they're going to, you know, oh man, get away with it. Simple lie. I was protecting my life. And under the badge of authority, more of them get away with it than me or you. Okay? There's protections in for the law, and the people have to follow rules in order to get protection in for them.
Choose to tithe to the streets. I choose to put kids through college. I choose to interact and truly use my tax dollars and whatever it is and give jobs. I employ over 50 people. I put my money in my community with my people. So I choose to engage. So when we
Hey man. So my man Corey, man. Corey's he's a character. I ain't gonna lie, but this is what he do. That's what he do.
talking about being in the streets, that don't count to me. I don't
Well,
hear
that's
that
what
shit.
should count.
I don't hear that
because
shit.
out there in the streets where the people live that you helping, they could get pulled over and shot by a cop, and an investigation will be said. But here's the truth: we know, if I believe you know this already, when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it.
My God, this is so crazy.
Do you think that's wrong? What I
This
said?
is so insane.
Is that what I said? I said when the cops shoot you, ain't nothing you can do about it. Is that a lie?
This is so insane.
But you didn't answer it.
I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer your question. It depends on the circumstance. And the interesting thing about it is this: the majority of the people, because you like to use a blanket statement. That's like me saying all black people are stupid.
Well, have you said all white people stupid?
No, I'm talking about cops.
You should say that one time.
I'm talking about
because
cops.
it's easy to say all black people are stupid as an example. Say something about the white people.
No. You're not. I don't think you got people all the time.
Oh, well, I didn't hear you. Can you tell me? Because I
talk
don't
about
know.
liberal white women literally being the biggest enemy of the United States of America. That's the thing I say every single day.
Caucasian female, the biggest enemy.
Literally, white liberal women are the worst thing that ever happened to this country.
What about their men?
But we gonna get there. Because you keep trying to get me to qualify it by participating and joining in on the court.
I think you're doing what's easy.
No. I'm doing what's real.
I think you don't want to go against it.
All right, y'all. Here we go. This is where it goes.
Because if you go against them, it'll be some video of you going against them. And when I say them, I'm talking about your boss.
I don't have a boss.
We say that. We say that, but here's the truth.
I don't have a boss.
It's a reason you go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall of it?
I'm an equal accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody.
I'm just saying, I ain't heard you talk about white men since you've been up here.
You ain't been listening. You ain't been listening.
I've been listening to you.
No, you haven't.
I hear you
taking you don't have the capacity to be able to listen because you're too busy.
No. You got me wrong.
You too busy.
Now, this is where the disrespect starts coming into play at. You don't have the capacity to listen. It was already getting chippy. Now here we go.
My capacity that you just criticized, that's an opinion. Here's the fact. Have you said something about Caucasian males and how they destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
No, you talking loud, and you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
All right, so one of the biggest problems that I have with a lot of people in life is the fact that they love to step away from answering questions or being direct. And this is where I kind of disagree with some people approach, and I get it at times because sometimes it's like, you know what, I'm not trying to really take it there with this person. I'm not trying to really, you know, go there. But if somebody's asking you to be direct, like people will point at me and say, man, you know, Rex, you do this, you do that, you do this, you be doing this, you be doing that. And I'll be like, look, give me a time and give me a place. And that's something Corey's going to do. Give me a time and give me a place that I've actually done that. And if you can't answer that and all you can do is just keep saying you do, no. Because me, I'm going to tell you, if I tell you about yourself and I tell you, hey, you done this, you do this, you do that, I'm going to give you a time and a place and an example. And I'm going to use that time and a place that you did that as an example of why I said you do them things. Some people, they play that game and they're not able to produce the evidence. And I think that's where we're kind of getting to with this situation, and pay attention to it.
Around it.
No,
and
I'm
that's
not.
why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the dick of black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you what you do.
Right there. And this is where Corey is about to get ready to get on his ass about. U.S. the D. Now, Corey told him he kissing ass. He telling him you're sucking the dick of white people. Black people. Now, I'm going to say this. You have two sides to this whole entertainment thing sometimes, right? You have people who are on the, I guess you want to say, the even side of life, keeping a balance there. And then you have people who's on more the raw side, which we like to look at as the darker side of comedy, life, reality, or whatever the case is. They call it the darker side. And it's really not the darker side. It's like people using the word woke as a bad word. You're not going to sit here and convince me that woke is a bad word. Being woke means that I'm aware. Oh, he's one of them woke people. I'm aware. Y'all trying to make it seem like woke means sleep. Like woke means he's misinformed or woke means bad. This is why our society of younger generation is growing up so confused. But Corey's about to go ahead and dig in, and this is where things get heated at because of the whole comment of the D sucking word.
Let me tell you something, homie. I don't suck dick.
Yeah,
I don't
you do.
suck
Yeah,
dick.
you do.
So fix
You doing
that.
it right now.
I don't suck dick, homie.
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you. I don't
Believe me
do
when
that.
I tell you.
I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no dick sucking shit.
I'm gonna give you the same
Let's
energy
switch
you give me.
Let's
Let's
switch
switch
seats.
it.
Let's switch seats.
I'm with it.
Homie, I don't do no
it's
dick
now.
sucking shit. I'm a motherfucking man. I don't do no dick sucking shit, homie.
I don't give a fuck about none of
Well,
that
I tell you
right
what,
now.
watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad.
Call it what you want.
I don't do no dick sucking,
You
homie.
say a lot of shit that I don't fuck with either. You think I
Okay,
give a
but
fuck about what
that
you talking about,
gay
nigga?
shit, oh, you
I
go.
don't give a fuck about what you talking
Hey,
about.
homie, I tell you what.
I'm right here.
Don't put
You
no
switching
dick
seats
sucking
don't mean
shit.
shit to me.
Don't put no
I'm from
dick sucking
Detroit,
shit on me, nigga.
I'm from Detroit
Say
right
I
now.
suck a dick again.
I'm right here, right now.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna respect you.
Dance around it. Dance around it.
No. I'm a
I don't do no dick sucking shit.
I'm gonna respect you because it's your platform, and I flew out here to have a conversation.
We good.
But you're
We
not
good.
bossing up on me.
Yo,
We good. I did already. I don't do dick
We can
sucking
put the
shit.
microphone right now and go on back. I don't give a fuck about
no,
this shit.
sir.
Homie, you just running.
All right, so who remember the Boondocks? Who remember the Boondocks? Who watches the Boondocks or used to watch the Boondocks? Reruns, right? So anyway, in the Boondocks, they would depict this moment right here amongst us, black people. Amongst us, there's a moment right here, and they call it the nigga moment. Two black people having a misunderstanding. Now we can go out back. All this is the platform. Come on, what type of energy are you trying to bring to your platform? You don't want to bring the wrong energy to your platform. I'm going to just say it like that. But at the same time, the disrespect has ensued.
your mouth.
I'm not running my mouth. You running your mouth. I don't do you no doing this shit for the internet.
You doing it
for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want to say
I'll show you I ain't doing it for the internet.
If you want to say Anton, listen, don't disrespect me like that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that. I'll respect you. But don't boss up on me because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. But I let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm going to extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how would it
call this nigga out his name?
Nigga, I'm telling you that you did. You can't tell me how I get respected.
I got a question for bro.
All right, so majorly, what I was talking about earlier, first part of this segment, what I was talking about, I said you cannot, and this man, what he's saying is you can't tell me how I feel disrespected. And I get it, because Corey was like, you're not speaking up on these white people. You're kissing the ass of the white people. We use that word and terminology every day. But to tell somebody that you're sucking D is something totally different. It's a different level of disrespect. And I think that's what needs to be understood here. And I understand that Anton feels disrespected. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you hit him with harsher disrespect. You know, people have to adjust them levels. And that's the problem with today. Today, people don't care about the level. Disrespect is disrespect, right? Right? But let's be honest. If somebody comes and punches you and you should be fighting, should you go get a gun and shoot them? No. But some people will go take a life for something that they probably did to cause the harm on it. Like, you disrespected this person and he came and punched you. You went back and got a gun to take a life. You see that level, that difference? That applies to so many different aspects of life. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That means you can throw all the insults you want, but just don't touch me. And that's how I used to get down as a kid. Like, don't touch me. You know, you can clown, bag, do all that stuff. Don't touch me.
Okay. No. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. We just getting loud. I ain't gonna get loud.
Then don't switch seats.
No, this is my show. This is my show.
That's cool, but I take that shit as a threat.
Okay, well, it is a threat if you calling me dick sucking. I don't dick suck, my nigga.
Man, fuck what you talking about.
I don't dick suck.
If you want to get back to the conversation, because you ain't gonna do shit. Because you're not gonna do shit.
Come at me with that dick sucking shit again, nigga.
You're not gonna
come at me with. Say I suck dick again, nigga.
We can go out back right now.
Fuck I am.
We can go out back right now. I'm with it.
I bet you won't say that shit.
We can go out back right now.
I got money for all this. Whatever.
I got money too. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit.
Hey,
no, it's not respect.
I ain't falling for the. I ain't falling. Golly, get out the way. Don't get in the way of two niggas. Let me tell you something, homie. I ain't got to go out back right now because we got to go out back to lead this motherfucker. But I'm.
Yo. Real talk. Real talk. So as you see here, things got chippy. Corey being a man from the hood, you know, this is what we like to call, this is a nigga moment because there's misunderstanding across the board. This is a nigga moment because there's misunderstanding all across the board. This is not black men. Black men and cooler heads prevail after the fact. But see, I want to move on a little bit, man. We ain't going to go too far into this content right here. I mean, we ain't going to sit here and go all the way into this content, but there's more to be talked about, you know, because cooler heads start prevailing. And these dudes was actually able to sit down and start talking about more.
Is that to you? Like, what is it in you that gets bothered by a switch?
Okay, so when you call him nigga, And I go out my way not to call Willie D nigga because I look at him as a man.
I kick it with Willie too. For me though, I don't give a fuck about the talking. I don't have no boundaries. I don't care if a nigga say something about me. It is what niggas say shit like that all the time. Like that's the environment that we live in. I only care about my real life.
Can I ask you a question? You just said men talk disrespectfully to you in your face all the time.
No.
See, this is nothing.
You did not hear what I said.
I said they don't want to miss it.
They do that shit all the time. You see it in the chat. You see it in the comments. All of that shit, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about that shit, right?
That's right, because that's for the internet.
Right. So when people say stuff, I don't take it personal because it's not a thing to me. It's just talk. The only thing I care about is what happened in real life. When I cut that shit off in real life, my life is great.
Right. Let me tell you something.
So my point is that I don't take nothing personal unless it get personal, unless it gets physical. That's the only thing I'm up on. Anything else I can walk away from. I don't give a fuck about that. My life, I could walk away and I'm probably gonna never see that person again.
I understand. So this is why the chat, I allow them, and in fact, I encourage them to be themselves in the chat. Because this is a computer screen. But one thing I will say about, this is to the youngsters especially, because they the ones who really don't know. I'm talking about 35 and under. When you in a man's face, you have to watch how you talk to them, because face to face is a lot different than the computer. On the computer, I got motherfuckers
Let me ask you a question.
Motherfuckers saying all kind of shit about me on the computer. Let me ask you a question. But if they in my face saying that to me,
let me ask you a question.
It can go bad.
What?
I'm not saying I'm not acting tough.
Hold on.
I'm not acting tough.
I mean, I agree.
Asking you a real question. Why do you get triggered if somebody says that to you? Like what is it in you that gets bothered by a switch?
Okay, so listen to me. Manhood is all we got left. You really got to understand this. Just give me a second to land on this.
I'm with you. I'm listening.
If we don't have our manhood, we ain't got nothing. So when a man walk up to you and say something flirtatious to you, when a man walk up to you and say something where he's challenging your manhood and things like that, trust me, I don't care how savage it may seem. When you dealing with a man, you can set a man off if you in his face and you saying things that are not. I'm not talking about somebody just saying anything. I'm talking about there are certain things, like I can't walk up to a man walking down the street with his wife, Anton, and say, man, your bitch thick. I'll be like, wait a minute. Of course, by me being older, talking to somebody in person is different.
So that's facts. You can't. And I agree. Once again, I agree. You can't walk up to somebody and do that. All right?
Than talking to somebody online. And if I'm so disrespectful, what do I do to be disrespectful online? Because you said I'm disrespectful online.
You just
know.
said out of your own mouth that you will be disrespectful online. Ain't even, yes, you did. You just said that.
Disrespectful online?
You said you can disrespect. It's different if you disrespect somebody online versus doing it in real life.
No, I didn't say what I would do.
How is it different?
I said if somebody in the chat room is saying something disrespectful about me, I don't hold that against them because they're
What
typing.
About when you talking about real people?
What do you mean?
If you comment on somebody and you give your opinion on real people.
I don't want to go back and forth. I'm trying to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Do you hear me when I say
what you're saying?
Whatever I say online, giving an opinion of something is different than if I am.
I said disrespectful. How can you determine whether or not somebody feels disrespected?
Well, feelings is one thing, man.
You felt some type of way?
Yeah, because ain't nobody finna stand in front of my face and talk to me like they on my level when it comes to homosexuality. Like that'll start a war. That'll start a war.
We can agree to disagree. I think you're wrong, bro. I personally, I'm telling you directly, you're hypocritical.
Okay, well, you could say that. I don't think I'm gonna win that argument with you now. But what I am saying to you, Anton, is when you are talking to men face to face, trust me when I tell you this, man. It's different than online. Face to
I'm the same
face.
person in real life as I am online. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. Right? Anybody, listen, I go city to city. I'm not an online nigga, bro. Like, I create content online, but I really am out in every single city. I done visited almost every single state. I have real meetups in real life. I shake hands. I kick it with people in real life, and I go out there and kick it with the people. I'm not different online than I am in real life. People may think that because they may have never met me in real life, but I keep the same energy. I reciprocate. Or I'm willing to walk away unless it goes up. If it's going to go up, then it's just going to go up and we just going to figure it out from there. But the fact of the matter.
All right. So that right there, man, that saying, we could figure it out later. Once again, it seems like there's a lot of nigga moments right here, man. And what I mean by these nigga moments is that, you know, we're still not getting to a proper solution before the bullshit. You know, so and that's the problem right there. You're not getting to the proper solution before the bull. And I hear people say that all the time, like, man, look, that's my friend, that's my sister, that's my brother, right or wrong. I'm a rock with them. We'll figure it all out in the end. But in the end, it might be too late. You know, in the end, person might get a little bit of, and it's done. Us as black people, man, we got to stop going with the sayings and the die hard suicide road. You know, we was talking about how people is, you know, in authority is to preserve life. In the community, we need to be preserving life. And stop going with this, oh, we'll figure it out later. Later might be too late. Later might not come. Later might be worse. And it ain't gonna get better.
Is I don't switch up.
See, I'm not
going to talk about you online. Hold on. I'm not going to talk about you online. And then when I see you in real life, I'm going to be like, man, you know I'm just playing. I'm not that type of nigga.
Yeah, but
either I fuck with you or I don't.
But see, that's just one scenario, Anton. What I'm saying to you is this. This is what I'm saying to you. I ain't saying it to offset what you just said. I'm trying to talk to you now.
And I'm not a tough guy either.
I'm not either.
I'm not a tough guy.
I'm not a tough guy. I don't even want to perpetrate like I'm a tough guy. But what I'm saying is, when men stand between each other, there is energy that is being transferred. And trust me, when men disrespect each other face to face, motherfuckers can die.
I agree.
That's why when I'm talking to a man, especially face to face, I try to make sure I don't go over the line. And if I ever go over the line, I can apologize.
Is what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying and I agree with you.
Right.
Why is it only face to face? That's where we disagree at.
Well, anything I said, I will say in the face of a man that I said it about.
All right, well, that's
cool. I don't go there to try to I don't have to shock jock, even though that's something that people say easily. Oh, he's shock jocking. No. Anything I've said about anybody, I will say right to them if they standing in front of me. And I would like for somebody to research the internet on things I've said and show me that I wouldn't say something to somebody if they were standing there. The only thing I said I wouldn't say to somebody if they were standing there, because I saw Charles Barkley in the airport one day. And I realized how big he was when I saw him in the airport. Now, I've said things about Charles Barkley. If he was standing in front of me and he said, say that shit now, I'll be like, we black, man. Come on, let's calm down. I ain't gonna lie. That's the only.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Now, that's like you right there to Shaq. You know, I met Shaq, see him, you know, on a few occasions, you know, up close and personal. I haven't had the chance to meet Charles Barkley. Seen him a couple times. I haven't had the chance to meet him. It go like this, man. And I get you, Corey. You like, hey, man, you know, we black. But that's the thing. It go like this. Oh man, dude was talking trash. When I see him, I'm gonna pound him. I'm gonna punch his face in. But your partners in them is like, man, he's smaller than you. Man, let it go, man. He's smaller than you. Look, man, you big enough to talk trash. You big enough to get your ass whooped. You grown. And it come down to this whole social media thing, man. A lot of us get on this social media thing and you want to pop off on social media, but when it come down to real life interaction, there's no play. No play. And that's the thing with, they talking about with Charleston White, and all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like it's no play. DC Draco, Spotty Face, all these different things, man. Like, there's a lot of popping off for the internet for the clout. And face to face, there's really nothing happening. Everybody's kind of bowing down, being humble. You should be like that regardless of whether you face to face or not. Don't pop off behind the camera and for internet and clout. And I get it. Controversy sells, y'all. It's been like that. It's been like that. Controversy sells. We're going to do a segment about that controversy one day, man. But, right now, this is about disrespect on misconception. And it was disrespect based upon misconception, right? Because one person said, hey, you're kissing white people's ass. Well, you're sucking the D of black people. I think it would have been better for Anton to say, hey, well, you're riding. There's a difference. There's a certain way that you want to state these things. And it's like, man, you're riding the D of black people. You riding D off black people. I think that would have been taken less disrespectful as sucking D for a man. And so, sometimes people, man, get caught up in thinking that they can approach and say whatever they want to say to people. And unfortunately, man, you can't. But that's Corey Holcomb, man. Y'all go over there and y'all check him out, man. We I'm not gonna go too far into that content because that's his content. But it's been kind of blowing up all over the internet, so I want to go ahead and get into that. But misconception, man, is something that's serious, man. It's very serious. It's not something that's taken light. And that's something that we have to get as a people, as in society, period. And I don't care where it's coming from, man. Like, you have people out here, whether you're in the urban area, whether you're in the suburbs, wherever you're at, it can get disrespectful in its own element, in its own way. And us as black people, man, we face enough disrespect on a daily. So the last thing we should be doing is walking and trampling across each other. I think one thing that we should be doing is helping each other out to succeed, be better. And I get why Corey feels that way in certain aspects. And voting, man, when it comes down to it, get out there and vote to change things locally so we can start changing things on a national scale. Like I said, we got to get rid of them electorals, man. We got to do away with them. And until we do away with them, man, we're here. Yeah, we're here. We're not going to be able to, keep putting forth, or we're not going to be able to, live right as a people if we're not going to be able to change things on a bigger scale, but to start here first. Now, I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with is the ladder climb. That pyramid, the breakdown, building from the ground up. A lot of us want it easy. Like I said, man, people may say things about you. They may say, things, but opinions are opinions. Facts are facts. To have knowledge and understanding on a wide range. And this is one thing that I kind of toot my own horn about is the fact that I'm able to look at things from a wider or multiple angles in a wider range. When somebody is coming to tell me something, I'm able to sit down with them. One of the problems and one of the biggest problems that I have with people is that they're not able to listen, but I am. One of the biggest problems that I have with people is that they're not able to get or see my point, but I'm able to see their point. I'm able to elaborate, give them the proper feedback. I'm able to give them feedback. And what we start learning is with technology comes a shorter patience and a shorter attention span. You know, as generations go on and things change, so does the dynamics of people and their interactions and what they do and how they cap on things. So once again, the biggest thing that we have to worry about out here is the misconception of disrespect. On this one, we're talking about misconception of disrespect. I'm sorry, not the biggest thing, but we're talking about the misconception of disrespect. We're worried about, you know, people conceiving the wrong thought or people who feel like they're able to talk to you in a specific manner and think it's okay. And it's not. And you as a grown man, as an adult, whoever you are, you have to be willing to put a a cap on that, put a foot in that, nip that in the bud, as we would say. The reason why is because you don't want people to think that it's okay for you or them to disrespect you in that manner and think that, everything's going to be okay, everything's going to work out fine and dandy, and it's okay. Because things like that can turn very, very tragic quick by disrespecting somebody. And these dudes, obviously, they have more to lose than just um, proving the point about things like this. Like they're getting money, but just that quick, there was a nigga moment, and we tend to have that a lot. You see it on No Jumper. Like I said, you seen it with this whole Spody Face, faux extra thing, and Hefe, you know, Munchie B, all these different dudes, man, that you seeing all these different issues with, man. And, we have a lot of these nigga moments. And that's something that we as a people within our culture, we have to correct that. Another thing too, man, before I get up out of here, I want to just make something else clear too, man. And that's this. We as a people, as a black people, as a culture, have got to learn how to make each other better. We got to build each other up. We got to stop tearing each other down. All right. We got to stop having the evil eye. For a woman, well, for the crooked woman, not the good woman, but for the woman out here who move crooked, like, support your man like he will support you. For the man out here who's moving crooked, also, not the good man, the crooked ones, support your woman. All right. That's vice versa. See, a lot of people, they get the misconception. They feel like, yeah, your woman is supposed to submit to you. Brother, you as a man is supposed to submit to your woman also. Now, I ain't no Steve Harvey ass nigga. I'm gonna say it like that, and I explain what the whole Steve Harvey ass nigga mean. But I ain't no Steve Harvey ass dude, man. I'm a regular dude, and I do believe in, you know, cutting off disrespect from wherever point. I don't care if it's your friend, your girl, your whoever it could be. Cut it off. It's not worth it. Simple as that. It's not worth it. We got to stop having the crab in the bucket mentality. We got to stop being jealous and envy of each other. Stop tearing each other down. Stop being vindictive and spiteful. You know, that go for us as a people. Because all it is implosion, y'all. And if anybody know what implosion is, that's from the inside out. And implosion happens from the inside out. Explosion from the outside in. That's why it's explosion, implosion. All right, so let's practice that. With that being said, I'm out. I appreciate everybody coming through. Thank y'all for stopping by to check your mans out. It's been another episode of your man, Cali Rexx, the Pot.